My roommate and I lived together for over a year, but I never suspected what she was really hiding. We had been the perfect match on paper, both quiet, focused on our studies, and rarely had people over. For the most part, everything seemed normal, but as time passed, little things started to feel off. It started with strange hours. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and she wouldn't be home. When I asked her about it, she'd just shrug and say she was studying late at the library or visiting family. I didn't think much of it at first, but then it started happening almost every night. One night, I came home earlier than usual from work, and I noticed her door was slightly open. I didn't mean to pry, but I saw her laptop open, with strange maps and encrypted-looking documents on the screen. It wasn't like anything I had ever seen before. That's when my suspicion really started to grow. What was she involved in? Things took a darker turn when I started receiving weird packages in her name, unmarked boxes, heavy, with no return address. When I asked her about them, she acted defensive, telling me it was none of my business. That's when the paranoia set in. Was I living with a criminal? One evening, she left the apartment in a hurry, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I decided to follow her. I know it sounds crazy, but I just had to know where she was going. She got into a car with tinted windows, and they drove to an industrial part of the city. My heart was pounding. What was she up to? I parked a few blocks away and watched as she met with a group of people who didn't look like her usual crowd. There was something off about the way they interacted, almost like a business meeting. They handed her a briefcase, and I saw her smile, but it wasn't the friendly smile I was used to. It was cold, calculated. I was starting to realize I didn't know her at all. I couldn't believe it. My quiet, studious roommate was leading a double life. When I got back to the apartment, I wasn't sure what to do. Should I confront her? Should I call the police? The paranoia and fear ate away at me. But before I could make a decision, she came home. She must have sensed something was off because she asked me straight up, "Have you been following me?" I panicked and denied it, but she wasn't convinced. That's when she sat me down and told me the truth, the real truth. She wasn't just a student. She was involved in underground hacking and cybercrimes. Her studying was actually her running operations for an organization I couldn't even comprehend. I was frozen in shock. How did I not see this coming? She explained that the reason she kept it secret was to protect me. The less I knew, the safer I was. She even said if I ever told anyone, I'd regret it. I didn't know whether to be terrified or relieved that she had come clean. But one thing was clear. My life was no longer just about school and work. I was living with someone far more dangerous than I ever could have imagined. Since that day, we've barely spoken. I avoid her as much as possible, but sometimes I hear her typing away at night, and I can't help but wonder, what else is she hiding?